The Kansas City Chiefs, a powerhouse in the NFL over the past half-decade, have built a dynasty under the leadership of head coach Andy Reid, quarterback Patrick Mahomes, and a roster stacked with talent. With multiple Super Bowl appearances and a reputation for clutch performances, the Chiefs have been the team to beat. However, recent roster moves, most notably the trade of key players like DeAndre Hopkins, Justin Watson, Justin Reed, and Joe Thuney, have sparked widespread debate among fans and analysts alike. Could these trades mark the beginning of the end for the Chiefs' golden era, or are they a strategic pivot toward a new chapter? This article dives into the implications of these moves, the sentiment surrounding the team, and what the future might hold. In a surprising series of moves, the Chiefs parted ways with several high-profile players. DeAndre Hopkins, a veteran wide receiver known for his reliability and playmaking ability, was a significant loss for an offense that thrives on explosive plays. Justin Watson, another receiver, provided depth and consistency, while Justin Reed, a stalwart in the secondary, was a leader on defense. Joe Thuney, a cornerstone of the offensive line, was instrumental in protecting Mahomes and opening lanes for the run game. These departures, reported in early 2025, have left fans reeling and questioning the front office's direction. Posts on X reflect the unease among Chiefs supporters. One user, at Rockstarny11, lamented, "Yeah, I'm not very hopeful for the Chiefs this 2025 season. They've let go of DeAndre Hopkins, Justin Watson, Justin Reed, Joe Thuney. Not a smart move." This sentiment captures the broader concern that the team is dismantling a roster that was painstakingly built to dominate. While the exact details of the trades, such as the return packages or salary cap implications, are not fully public, the loss of these players suggests a shift in strategy, possibly driven by financial constraints, aging talent, or a focus on rebuilding for the future. To understand the weight of these trades, it's worth revisiting the Chiefs' recent success. Since Patrick Mahomes took over as starting quarterback in 2018, Kansas City has been a juggernaut. The team won Super Bowls in 2020, 2023, and 2024, with Mahomes earning MVP honors and Andy Reid solidifying his legacy as one of the NFL's greatest coaches. Key players like Travis Kelce, Chris Jones, and the now departed stars mentioned above were integral to this run. The Chiefs' high-octane offense, paired with a steadily improving defense under coordinator Steve Spagnuolo, made them perennial contenders. However, dynasties in the NFL are notoriously difficult to sustain. Salary cap limitations, player turnover, and the physical toll of the game often force even the best teams to retool. The Chiefs' recent moves suggest that general manager Brett Veach and the front office are grappling with these realities. But at what cost? Several factors likely contributed to the decision to trade Hopkins, Watson, Reed, and Thuney. Salary cap management. The NFL's salary cap is a constant challenge for contending teams. Mahomes' massive contract, while well-deserved, eats up a significant portion of the cap. Retaining high-priced veterans like Hopkins and Thuney may have been unsustainable, especially with younger players due for extensions. Aging roster. Hopkins, at 32, and Thuney, nearing his mid-30s, are on the back end of their primes. Trading them now could yield assets, draft picks, or younger players rather than letting them walk in free agency or decline in performance. Defensive rebuild. Justin Reed's departure signals a potential overhaul in the secondary. The Chiefs may be looking to invest in younger, cheaper talent to maintain defensive flexibility. Draft capital and future planning. The Chiefs have historically been aggressive in trading for talent, but this approach often depletes draft picks. Moving veterans could restock the team's draft capital, allowing them to build around Mahomes for the long term. While these moves make sense on paper, they carry risks. The Chiefs' offense relies heavily on Mahomes' ability to elevate those around him, but losing reliable targets like Hopkins and Watson could strain the passing game. Similarly, Thuney's absence might expose Mahomes to more pressure, and Reed's exit could weaken a defense that has been a quiet strength in recent years. Amid the roster shakeup, one name looms large: Travis Kelce. The star tight end, widely regarded as one of the best to ever play his position, has been a cornerstone of the Chiefs' success. However, at 35 years old, Kelce is showing signs of slowing down, and rumors have swirled that 2025 could be his final season. The same ex-post from at Rockstarny11 expressed hope that Kelce would take his career more seriously this season, especially if it's his supposed last one. This reflects a broader concern among fans that Kelce's off-field ventures, such as his media appearances and endorsements, might be distracting him from football. Kelce's production remains elite, but the wear and tear of a long career is undeniable. If the Chiefs are indeed transitioning to a new era, Kelce's role becomes even more critical. Can he anchor the offense in the absence of key contributors? And if 2025 is his swan song, will the Chiefs be able to replace his production and leadership? These questions hang over Kansas City as the season approaches. The reaction on X and other platforms underscores the emotional toll of these trades. Chiefs Kingdom, accustomed to dominance, is grappling with the possibility that the team's window of contention may be closing. The loss of beloved players like Hopkins and Reed feels like a betrayal to some, while others see it as a necessary evil to keep the team competitive in the long run. On the field, the Chiefs still have Mahomes, arguably the NFL's best player, and a coaching staff that has consistently out-schemed opponents. Young talents like wide receiver Xavier Worthy and running back Isaiah Pacheco could step up to fill the void, and the team's draft picks from the trades could yield future stars. However, the margin for error is thinner now. The AFC is stacked with contenders like the Buffalo Bills, Cincinnati Bengals, and Baltimore Ravens, all of whom are poised to capitalize on any Chiefs missteps. So, do these trades signal the end of an era for the Chiefs? Not necessarily, but they do mark a turning point. The dynasty built around Mahomes, Kelce, and Reed isn't dead, but it's evolving. The front office's willingness to trade established stars suggests confidence in Mahomes' ability to carry the team, but it also places immense pressure on the young core and new additions to perform. The 2025 season will be a litmus test. If the Chiefs can remain competitive, perhaps even making another deep playoff run, it will validate the front office's gambles. But if the losses prove too much to overcome, critics will point to these trades as the moment the dynasty began to crumble. For now, Chiefs Kingdom can only watch, hope, and trust that the magic of Mahomes and Reed can keep the dream alive. As the NFL landscape shifts, one thing is certain: the Chiefs' story is far from over. Whether this is the end of an era or the start of a new one, Kansas City remains a team to watch in 2025. Kansas City. For the past half-decade, the Kansas City Chiefs have been the NFL's gold standard. With Patrick Mahomes at the helm, Andy Reid calling the shots, and an explosive roster built around speed, skill, and a killer instinct in big moments, the Chiefs carved out a modern-day dynasty. But now, following a stunning off-season trade, fans and analysts alike are asking a chilling question: Could this trade mark the beginning of the end for the Chiefs' reign? It started with a bombshell. Insert star player's name. A cornerstone of the Chiefs' recent success was traded to receiving team in exchange for draft picks/players. It wasn't just the move itself that sent shockwaves across the league. It was who was traded and what it symbolizes. Wasn't just another piece of the puzzle. This was a player who embodied Kansas City's culture, tough, explosive, and unselfish. Whether it was big game performance, leadership in the locker room, or clutch postseason heroics, this player helped define an era. And now, they're gone. Chiefs GM Brett Veach defended the move as a necessary step toward long-term sustainability. And while that's true in a salary cap world, it's also a cold reminder that dynasties aren't built to last forever, especially in the NFL. Even before the trade, signs of stress were visible in Kansas City. The offensive line, though rebuilt in recent years, showed inconsistencies. Injuries played key contributors. Travis Kelce, the ever-reliable tight end, is entering the twilight of his career. Tyreek Hill's departure to Miami a few seasons ago foreshadowed this very moment. The slow but inevitable unraveling of the band. Yes, Mahomes remains arguably the best quarterback in football. But for the first time since he became the starter, he's facing more questions than answers about the roster around him. Can Rashee Rice develop into a true WR1? Can the defense maintain its dominance without a star like Chris Jones anchoring the trenches, should he be next? And then there's the money. With Mahomes' contract structured for flexibility, but still massive in scope, sacrifices have to be made. The Chiefs have navigated this masterfully until now. But every dynasty reaches the point where tough decisions become unavoidable. That time, it seems, has arrived. Compounding the issue is the rest of the AFC getting stronger. Joe Burrow and the Bengals, Josh Allen's Bills, Lamar Jackson's Ravens, and now CJ Stroud's Texans, all are legitimate threats. The days of Kansas City being the unquestioned favorite are over. Every playoff run going forward will be a war of attrition. If this trade signals a shift toward a more youth-driven, developmental model, it could mean a brief step back for the Chiefs in 2025 and beyond. Replacing seasoned veterans with rookies and role players is always a gamble, especially when the standard has been Super Bowl or bust. Yet, let's not forget who we're talking about. Patrick Mahomes isn't just any quarterback. He's a generational talent who has proven he can win with less. He dragged the Chiefs to a Super Bowl title in 2022 with a patched-up receiver core and an offensive line still finding its footing. He's the ultimate equalizer, a magician who can erase deficits, silence critics, and keep Kansas City in every single game. But even Mahomes can't do it all alone. For the Chiefs to remain contenders, the front office must continue to hit home runs in the draft and free agency. The days of having elite talent across the board are gone. It's now about making fewer pieces go further. Dynasties rarely end with a thud. They dissolve gradually, piece by piece. A key player traded here, a coordinator leaving there. If player's name was the first domino, fans should brace for more. Kelce will retire eventually. Reed, now in his mid-60s, won't coach forever. There's a scenario, not this year, but soon, where Kansas City faces a total reboot. That's what makes this trade feel so pivotal. It's not just the loss of a player, it's the signal that Kansas City is entering a transition phase. Still capable of greatness? Absolutely. But invincible? No longer. So, is this the end of an era for the Chiefs? Not quite, but it may be the end of this era. The era of overwhelming firepower, of untouchable dominance, of a roster that left little room for doubt. In its place, a new era, one where Mahomes must carry more, where young players must rise faster, and where the Chiefs must prove they can adapt and evolve while still chasing championships. The crown isn't gone, but it's a little looser than it used to be.